It is now 6:03, and we will reconvene our regular meeting. Dr. Ed, do we have any introductions to be made tonight?
Yes, I want to welcome Jane Stukeman. Where's Jane from the, oh, there she is back there. She is with the Houston Chronicle, and she reports on the college. I think you met her at the board retreat. Jane, they can't
see it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
you.
You.
Yeah. Hi.
I've said this before, but thank you for reporting accurately. Thanks. So we have some other introductions.
Okay.
Let me start with Linda Head and Eric. Do you want to come up and
Hello.
Hi.
Chairman Smith, Chancellor, board members. I am here to introduce Dr. Eric Rowe. He's with the Cockrell School of Engineering and responsible for Texas Engineering Executive Education at the University of Texas. And he wanted to take a few minutes to tell you about our partnership. I'm really excited. Eric has been involved in higher education, primarily community colleges, for a number of years, and I've gotten to know him professionally in national organizations. Pearson Publishing actually had the two of us, we didn't know it, presenting together. And we're been trying to work a partnership that fell apart a few years ago, and now we're trying to resurrect it. So I'm happy to introduce him to you and let him say a few words. Eric?
Thank you all for the opportunity. As Linda said, I'm Dr. Eric Rowe. I'm the Executive Director of Texas Engineering Executive Education, which is the equivalent of the corporate college that you have here, but for the College of Engineering at the University of Texas at Austin. One of our divisions within that is the Petroleum Extension Service, PTEX, which has a history with Lone Star College. And recently, about a year ago, had the opportunity to bring the PTEX into the College of Engineering. It had been within the provost office at the university, which didn't make a lot of sense to me with the strength of the Cockrell School in Petroleum Engineering, the Jackson School of Geosciences, that it was kind of this orphan within the university, and quite frankly, didn't have good governance. So we focus principally on the oil and gas industry, workforce level training, publications, e-learning, and with my background in the community college system in Florida, saw a real opportunity to look at what you all are doing in the oil and gas space, your future training center, the resources you have, and figure out how we could create some stacked and latticed pathways that leverage the strengths of PTEX, which is 75 years old this year, established in 1944 by the Texas legislature and the University of Texas, and Lone Star College to support the oil and gas industry. So if things go well, I hope we will be moving over towards your University Park campus and work more collaboratively with the college on credit, non-credit pathway programs that support the oil and gas industry. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have a board, we have an item on number 19 tonight that's coming up for consideration, and I wanted Eric to come in and explain a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to see you. My only question for you is, you have, it looks like a University Park logo on your...
Oh, yeah?
Is that a UT deal?
That's the PTEX logo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There goes Shaw again. Doing.
That would be serendipitous if they're very close.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
So you're located over UP?
Yeah.
And where's your office located again?
So currently, so my office is in Austin at the
Austin,
University
okay.
of Texas, but we have a training facility here on Sam Houston Parkway. And so we have classrooms and lab space there presently that we run training programs here in Houston. But that's just been this island of training here without any collaboration with your college or San Jacinto or Houston. We also have a training facility out in Odessa on the campus of UT Permian Basin that is more focused on wellfield. So I've recently met with Midland College and Odessa College and UT Permian Basin to figure out how we build a consortium out there to support workforce training. And my background with NSF grants and Department of Labor grants and community college system, this kind of redundant resources where we're all doing something and not collaborating is something I think we all need to work on. And this is my first step to try to break down those barriers.
We agree with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
And we already have a contract in place for a client internationally, proposal out there together. So we're already forming that partnership in different ways. So we're excited.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks for taking the time. So next, Quentin, if you would come up. So my good friends from Fallbrook Church are here tonight. I wanted to, I would like Quentin give a brief overview. And so this is our partnership, proposed partnership with Fallbrook. And these are some of the nicest, smartest, they're really good guys that we all really like. And we've been working with them on and off. So when I was the president over at North Harris, we offered classes over there back, I've lost track of when that was, 10 years ago, something like that. And so I think this is really going to be beneficial to us in the community. So I wanted Quentin to give you a quick overview of what it looks like, and then Pastor O, Pastor Mike, either one of you, I'd like some introductions and say a few words.
Trustee Smith, Dr. Head, Board of Trustees, I'm very excited to be here today to tell you about the Lone Star College Fallbrook Church partnership. I'm going to give a brief overview, and then after the overview, I'm going to introduce the pastors that are here today and let them have a few words. So to tell you a little bit about the church, we're now in the planning phase of designing the building. The planning is coming along well. In fact, this is one of the first initial drawing sketches of the building. It's going to be a comprehensive educational facility, 50,000 square feet. We're expecting to have about 14 classrooms, a Cisco networking room, because this will be one of the programs that will be there will be computer networking. We'll have a logistics management facility. We're going to bring in 2 science labs, because one of the things that we've learned about our centers is that science tends to be a bottleneck, and that becomes a point in which students often have to leave the centers because of the science courses. And so we're adding a second lab. We're going to kind of follow University Park's model and have a digital library instead of your standard, brick and mortar library and so forth. And we're going to have a pretty extensive testing center for the students. Now, to tell you a little bit about our enrollment projections, we're projecting to start off at about 1,100 students. And we'll tell you a little bit about how we get to this point. At Lone Star, we take great pride in the notion that we get about 4% of our service area population. And so when you look at the zip code that Fallbrook's in and the 5 surrounding zip codes, that's about 153,000 residents. And right now we have about 4,900 students that's coming from this location to one of our LSC locations. So we should be around 6,200, and so we expect to be able to make up that difference and then more. The one thing about our enrollment projections is that usually whenever we have a location in a zip code, then our penetration sometimes gets as high as 8 or 9%. So we expect for enrollment to continue to increase. And the one thing we have learned from looking at our other centers is that our first year is always good, but we always have a really big jump in our second and third years. And so we're expecting to have about a 20% jump, and that's actually modest when looking at, say, Victory Center and some of our other locations and how they jump from year 1 to year 2. To tell you a little bit about some of the programs, we would have students be able to get their basics with their Associates of Arts, Associates of Science, but we're looking at logistics management as a field that we're going to go into. If you look at the top 2 pictures, those are from TSTC. We've been going around the state to try to look at different facilities. And as you can see here, they have a really advanced conveyor belt system, centrally located. They have a nice robotic system for automatic warehousing. And one of the things that I loved about their program is that they have drones, and they teach their students how to get packages from one side of a warehouse to the other. And so it's really advanced, really excited about that. At the bottom, you'll see kind of a teacher education area. So we're partnering with Stephen F. Austin. We were just there last week, and they have agreed to help us design the educational facilities at Fallbrook. And that's going to be great because with the 2+2, students will be able to start here, go to them, and then be able to go back and teach in our area, which is what we want to do, a grow your own program. We'll have payroll assistants. We also have GED classes there. At the bottom, I just brought the picture of an open tutoring area to show you that we want to have a concept of bringing tutoring to the students where there are. And so that's actually from Mountain View College that we saw there, and that's part of the design we're going to have. You know, just want to show you a little bit about, the labor market data, and thanks to Linda Head and her team for helping with this. So with logistics alone, in our Gulf Coast region, there's about 3,000 jobs in that cluster, but I wanted to show you some of the job breakdown. So you can see with distribution managers, that's the starting salary, mind you. That's the starting salary. It's about $74,000, expecting about almost 475 new jobs over the next 6 years. Logisticians, the same thing, almost 800, 750 new jobs. Production and planning, which is something you can get with the level 1 certificate, meaning after just simply one semester, you can see that there's 1,500 jobs expected. And one of the reasons why we're very interested in the teaching certification, just in the Gulf Coast region, they're expected to have nearly 8,000 new jobs in teachers. And so that's a big turnover, and that's one of the things our ISD partners are telling us. Bookkeeping is a fast-track certificate, and so you can get that in a semester, but you can see that there's going to be quite a few jobs there. So we looked at the labor market data and went back and forth a little bit to determine what programs would get people to work in these areas. Just real quickly, we're going to start off with all of the initiatives that we're going to bring to Houston North. So all students will come in as cohorts. We'll have morning, afternoon, and evening cohorts, block schedules where students will be able to come in and just tell the program they want to go into and the time of day, and we'll give them a schedule. We're pushing every student to have at least 9 hours because our data have showed us that that's the tipping point for student success. For us, smaller classes, all of our classes will be in 8-week formats. You know, it's just the notion to have students get credit accumulation early, and all of our faculty will have reduced teaching loads to be able to mentor first-time in college students. That's something we're very excited about because we know when we get students through that first year, we drastically increases their chance of graduating. And so with that said, this is an image of the new facility and how it's looking. It's coming along great. We're very excited to be able to have this partnership. And now, without further ado, I'm very excited to introduce the guests. We have a senior pastor, Pastor Michael Pender. We have Elder George Flowers. We have Matlock and Deacon Hatchett. And then we have Executive Pastor Otis Holder. And Pastor Pender, if you want to have a few words.
Good evening, Dr. Head and Lone Star board members. On behalf of the community that Fallbrook serves, we would like to thank you for your pace-setting leadership into the future. Education in varied forms is vital for all Americans and for maintaining our country's position in the global economy. The visionary leadership of Lone Star through the Lone Star Fallbrook campus will give the people in our community an unprecedented opportunity to position themselves to make their lives better, the community better, and our nation better. Over the years, our Fallbrook campus has established itself as a community hub for everything from childcare, summer camps, public charter school education, tutorials, parenting seminars, town hall meetings, political candidate forums, benevolence, sporting events, concerts, and much more. We have embraced an all-hands-on-deck approach to helping our community that is lifting many families to get better. There is so much excitement about Lone Star Fallbrook in our community, and so much so that everywhere people are talking about the new campus. However, what they are most excited about is Lone Star bringing its innovative approach to education to our community. This is truly a remarkable opportunity that over the years will change the lives of thousands in our community. Thank you, Dr. Head and the Lone Star Board.
You're welcome. Don't leave.
Board members, any questions or comments? And I have one after everyone else.
Go ahead, Mr.
No,
Chairman.
you're good. I want to go last.
I'm glad that you mentioned political candidate forums because I've been at your facility for some of those forums over the years, and it was great. We loved it. The community was outstanding, and we appreciate the hospitality, and y'all always made me feel welcome. And for that, I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
There's one question, Pastor, that I will always have. For some reason, I am shocked at certain individuals in our community not knowing about Lone Star, and sometimes Lone Star is 6 blocks away from them. They say, where's that place, and et cetera.
Yes, sir.
And I heard you say some things about community outreach and et cetera. And I am hoping that your outreach, along with Pastor O, I pick at him all the time. I dunked on him last week. That you create a model that our other schools, can use to make sure that the total community knows what's available and will take advantage of it. And so I really appreciate what you guys are doing, and I'm going to depend on you. We're going to look at you and use you as a role model. And thanks for what you're doing.
Thank you.
And by the way, you could tell us a little bit more about what you plan to do to reach the entire community.
Well, we've been, praying about more that we can do, and this just adds a layer to where we run into so many young people that they want to do something with their lives, and they just need a way to kind of facilitate that. And so this just gives us another tool in order to help them. And we certainly appreciate the innovative approach to providing not just a traditional higher education, but other forms of higher education to where, young people can be employed and be productive citizens and help our country to be and continue to be a great nation.
Thank you.
So my only reservation about the whole thing is he's a New York Knicks fan, and I just can't get over the fact that he's. I also want to thank George. We've all been working together over this for some time. George, Quentin,
Yes.
Jennifer, Pastor O, we've all been working, trying to get this right and try to do the right thing over there. They have a great message for the community. It's the same message that we have about get an education, do the right thing, be a good person. It's a really good message, and I think your values fit in nicely with our values. And it's just been a pleasure working with them, and I'm looking forward to it. It's just going to be a terrific partnership. It'll be really good for the community over there. So thank you for being there. Sure.
Okay.
What do you want to? You want them to come up and like we normally do?
Like that right here.
Okay.
I think we all. You want to get a picture of all of us, Quentin? Okay. Yeah, come. No, we stand back here. But I probably need to get in it. No, you can stand up. That's all right. Yeah. Who you? Thank you. Appreciate it. We wouldn't be one without you. We wouldn't be one without you.
And then we're going to move into the workshop.
Okay, all right. That's the PSSA here.
You want to come up? So our workshop is our Professional Support Staff Association. So Annabelle Hernandez is the PSSA president at North Harris, but we have representatives, just a couple of you. I'll let her talk. Just so you'll know, Annabelle was hired as a student assistant or a work study. What were you hired as?
Student worker.
Student worker, what year? 1987, by me, by the way. That's how long she's been here. And your daughter, she was in the financial aid office, right? Were you in financial? I've forgotten what I've done. I've done so many things. Was I in the admissions office or financial aid? Where were you working?
In admission.
Admission. So, and is it your daughter goes to school here now?
At UP.
At UP, Shaw. So we have, I really like the fact that our employees went to school with us, and then we have a number, you'd be surprised. Is Tom Taylor back there still? I know he was. Tom's son works for us. Tom works for us and his son. So we've got this nice generational thing going here, which is really good. So I'll turn it over to you. So.
All right. Well, thank you, and good evening.
Good evening.
To the board and Chancellor Head. My name is Annabelle, and I am the president of PSSA at System Office University Park.
Sorry, and I said you were from North Harris. That's where you were working. You're at
Yes.
University Park now. But if you would move the microphone right in front of you. Yeah.
Okay, so PSSA, the organization, our mission is to provide an avenue for the staff to bring concerns or matters of concerns to the administration. We also, our mission is also to promote community among the employees and also to further the strategic goals and objectives of the LSC cultural beliefs. And our last is to inspire professional growth. Okay, and the next is going to be Sarah Zapata from Cyfair.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sarah Zapata. I am the PSSA president at Cyfair, Lone Star College Cyfair, and I've been serving for a year and a half. And I just wanted to highlight a couple things that we are doing at Cyfair in our Professional Support Staff Association. Our focuses have been first on staff support, morale, and networking, making sure that our staff see us as a viable resource that they can turn to and connect with their peers across the campus and across the system. So we advocate for them, we connect them to the resources, and we're there to bring more morale and community. We also focus on campus support. We do a lot of volunteering for some of our opening week activities for students or different initiatives that are taking place on campus. We try and donate materials and our time to support those things there. And then, of course, community service efforts. We have an empowerment center on campus that serves our students and the community, so we volunteer our time and resources there as well, gathering donations for different programs. Something that we have done new this year that has really boosted our participation and efforts on campus, we do PSSA council tours, and for our staff, it's very hard to get away from their desks sometimes. Our students come first, and we always have to make sure we're serving them. And so we take the time sometimes to go to their offices, to their desks, so that they can hear important information, stay involved, have time to ask questions or give feedback to us, but not have to leave their desks for too long if it's hard for them to get away. So they really appreciated that connection time. We've also really focused on how do I impact the student experience. Sometimes staff, because they're not the instructors in the classroom, they don't see that long-term impact that they can have. But we want to make sure that that part-time admission specialist knows just how much value they can bring to the students. We've been working on that as well. And we are very proud to say that we have tripled our membership attendance from fall 17 to fall 18 through building those intentional relationships and having very responsive offerings. So we're excited to see what the rest of this year brings for Sci-Fair. We have great support from Dr. Keshvala and the entire administration team there. And we really appreciate also the time we've had with Dr. Head, having more information and meetings to stay plugged into the larger picture of Lone Star College. So thank you all very much for your time. That's it from Sci-Fair, and I will pass it along next to Kingwood.
Good evening. I'm Allison Huffey, president of PSSA at Lone Star College, Kingwood. This past year and a half, as I'm sure y'all have heard, has been very difficult for Kingwood, including staff, because of Harvey. So our main goal was to keep the staff connected because we were scattered across the Lone Star College system and other locations. So we focused on the cultural belief of better together. We established a welcoming committee this fall. HR gives us all the names of the new employees, both full-time and part-time. Then our committee members visit these new employees, welcome them to the campus, and give them a little Lone Star goodie bag with Lone Star gear and information. Some of the service that we've done, both community and on campus, we collected items for goodies for soldiers. So it was toiletries, food, and other items. We got those from faculty, staff, and students. And they were given to a mother's organization that prepares goodie packages and sends them to the soldiers. We also did a bear and doll drive where staff members dressed up bears or dolls, and they were donated to this group where they had they auctioned off the toys or sold them, and the money was used to purchase Christmas gifts for children. And then we've done some things on campus where we assisted the outreach and admissions with their registration and spring graduation, and we helped with the community food fair. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Latricia Kukuma. I'm the treasurer for the PSSA staff, PSSA Association, from Montgomery. Tabitha is our president, Tabitha Yargo, and she couldn't be here. Our goal at Montgomery campus is for each of our committee members to associate at least one of the 2020 cultural beliefs to the committee that they represent. We establish trust by bringing up any issues and concerns to our president, Dr. Riley, and the administrative staff. PSSA provides professional development to our staff during our monthly meetings. Our meetings are informative. We promote good health. The Wellness Center is involved. They come in and they also will provide information to us. We provide resources to our staff. We collaborate with the campus faculty and system-wide staff. Our meeting this month, or actually in January, the organizational development team provided information about the leadership programs that are available through LSC. PSSA networks with other departments as well as recognize our staff. We have an annual day where all staff have an opportunity to participate. The committee is still in the planning stage for this year's events. In the past, we've had conferences. We've traveled to Houston to tour downtown Houston and completed the escape room. And last year, we also traveled to Moody Gardens. The events we have during our year consists of our holiday luncheon. It is held in November. It's usually a potluck luncheon. We have door prizes, food, and entertainment for our staff. We also have our Love Your Part-Timer event that's going to be held this month. It's held in February. We honor and thank our part-timers for their hard work and dedication. This event supports the cultural beliefs, students matter, as some of our part-timers are students, and the better together. This slide, the following committees represent our LSC Montgomery PSSA. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous.
You're fine.
We have Professional Development Committee, a Hospitality and Welcome Committee, an Election Committee, Employee of the Month Committee, and a Staff Excellence Committee. Our Community Service Committee, we have at least 2 staff members to oversee each of our projects. We have quite a few community service events that our staff have an opportunity to participate in during the year. This committee incorporates many cultural beliefs, which include students matter, better together, act intentionally, trust, and no fear. Our Giving Tree committee, we assist single parents and staff members. This is actually one of our community events. So we assist single parents and staff members who need assistance during the Christmas holidays. They purchase gifts for their family. We have our Days of Caring. We partner with the Salvation Army, Toys for Tots, and United Way, where we come in, we package and distribute gifts for the people who are in need. Sorry. We have an ongoing food drive for our food pantry. Our PSSA staff volunteer in our food pantry, and it supports our students. We also have a new campaign that we have been working on. It's open this month. It's the Dress for Success. That service, it provides our students to come in and get gently used clothing for job interviews. We also have Love Foster's Hop. It's a PSSA collect flip-flops and beach towels for children in foster care attending summer camp. Thank you. We have at least 40 staff members that attend our PSSA monthly meetings, and we have many that participate in the community service events. We are pleased to be a part of the PSSA family.
Good job.
You know, since you said you were nervous, I have a question.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, not an issue. I'm just trying to relax you. If you had to pick out one activity that make you so proud you're beside yourself that the PSSA does, what would that activity be?
Actually,
of all those things that you mentioned, which one is the biggest aha moment for you?
Actually, it was the Days of Caring. During Christmas time, we went to Conroe, and we partnered with the Salvation Army and the Toys for Tots, and we were able to package gifts for families who were in need, and then we were able to distribute those gifts to them. I think that was like the biggest thing for me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle and Nick, so everybody up here is really nice, so you don't need to be nervous.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Michelle Simon from North Harris, and this is my first year as PSSA president. Oh, thank you. There we go. As part of our tenure, my council and I have made it a mission to increase participation and morale and to make sure our staff know how important they are to the success of the college and our students. As you can see, we had several events this fall that we're excited that we have some other great things coming up in the spring. Our Staff Appreciation Week later this month will kick off with our Administrator Speaker Series that I'm really looking forward to. Our President, Dr. Napolis, is going to be speaking this month to kick off Staff Appreciation Week. And then in March, Dr. Yanazi, who is our VPI at North Harris, will be speaking. And in April, we have our General Counsel and COO, Mario Castillo, in April. We are also looking forward to our day trip to Bayou Bend in May. And our PSSA is partnering with our Faculty Staff Center on professional development, as well as communities and schools to develop community service projects that we can all participate in. Aside from building trust and collaboration, it is my hope that the staff find a sense of belonging in our college as they participate in our events. We believe we are off to a great start, and with the support of our college president, Dr. Napolis, we look forward to the progress our association will make.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kara Kane, and I'm actually PSSA president for University Park. But a few minutes ago, my lovely PSSA president asked me to actually present for Tomball because Linda Bancroft could not be here this evening. So please do bear with me. The Tomball PSSA board actually does spearhead their appreciation awards. They also have started a food drive to do a food pantry on their campus. They also are encouraging their staff to take advantage of the incredible opportunities that LSE provides for professional development. And their whole theme or their main priority for this year is creating a culture of we. So just making sure that their staff understand that they are appreciated and to become engaged with the goings-on that are happening on their campus. So switching to University Park, we have this past year established regular PSSA meetings. Previously, those were not happening. We didn't have any business meetings per se. We were having a lot of events, but not real business meetings. So we've decided to establish, I told her to change the slide and I didn't do it. Why didn't you guys yell at me? We decided to establish twice a semester meetings during the fall and spring, and also one over the summer. We just wanted to have these meetings to bring in our staff into a space that they feel is safe, to be innovative, to brainstorm together, to come together and just see what we can do to discuss events, initiatives that we would like to be involved in, and to get really everyone involved in all of that. We also do a summer barbecue. We partner with PSSA Soup. That's just a fun thing that we do when it finally gets warm out in May. We all come together and we have our barbecue. We do our ice cream socials, which are just a networking event. It's something that people tend to love. Anytime you give them ice cream, they can't complain, right? So they tend to love that as well. Just in the past couple months, we did our part-time appreciation lunches and dinners. That has been like the most rewarding for me to be a part of, because we've had probably over 100 part-time staff actually attend those events. And it's just really heartwarming to see them just so in awe that we actually just bought a meal for them and said thank you for all the hard work that you do. We know that we couldn't do what we do without our part-time staff, so we do want to appreciate them and make sure that they know how valued they are. At UP, we also do what we call pride sightings, and those are where staff can actually turn in a form to nominate their colleagues for a pride sighting award. And as UP president, our council, we gather up staff members and we go around and we just make some noise, go down the hallway, sing a little song, do a little beat, whatever we can to bring attention, and just let the people around them know that these staff members are really exemplifying our cultural beliefs. Also, we are currently working on a partnership with NAM, Northwest Assistant Ministries. There's one thing that we know here at Lone Star is that we have a wealth of individuals with a ton of knowledge and experience. And so we are trying to work with NAM to see if we can actually teach some little sessions, workshops, how to do a resume, how to balance checkbooks, accounting, just basic life skills that these individuals in our community need. So right now that's going to be our main focus, is community outreach. And I would like to thank Dr. Shaw Ardalan for always encouraging us and being supportive. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are. So thank you, Dr. Ardalan.
I have another question of you.
Yes, sir.
You said that you met twice a semester.
Twice a semester,
and once
yes.
in the summer. Are all employees in that category invited to the meeting, or?
Yes.
If so, what percentage of the employees would you say actually attend?
Typically, we have between right around 30 or so individuals come to every business meeting. When we do something fun like ice cream socials, of course, we get a lot more people show up. But, you know, food draws people in. Our business meetings, we get typically around 30 people, but they're people that really want to be there and they have a lot to contribute. So the small number doesn't bother us too much. We still get a lot done. So,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so at University Park System Office, this year we partnered with Montgomery Food Pantry, and during our luncheon we collected non-perishable foods for them. And then for the Christmas, we also had a Christmas luncheon, and we partnered with the Marines Toys for Tots. And this year they brought in a cash box. So that was a great idea. It was a big hit at SOUP. Because a lot of people, they didn't want to go to the store to buy toys, so they donated cash or check. So that was a big hit this year. Our partnerships, we've, in addition to Montgomery, we've also partnered with the police department, with the Veterans Office, the Marines, of course, Toys for Tots, and then Tombaugh Memorial. Their ROTC came over and did one of our, the annual Veterans Day observation. In addition to that, for the events that we had in the fall semester, we had a presidential speaker series, which is human trafficking. So we had a guest from the Assistant Attorney General to come and speak to that. And then we had also a floor meet. So we had First Choice Coffee, they're a new vendor, and we invited them for the floor meet so we can taste our coffee, and then we just added some donuts with that, and that was a big hit also. We also have our annual Thanksgiving luncheon, and supported by the Chancellor, and also the second annual Veterans Day observance, and the holiday luncheon that is also supported by the Chancellor. Committees, we have the hospitality that welcomes all the new members each month. We also get the list from HR, and we give them a gift bag with goodies. We also have the outreach and social chair, military outreach, and then the new one that we had added this year was the Staff Excellence Award. To make that process a little bit easier, we decided to have a committee that would handle that. So overall, we've been grateful and thankful to our administrators at SOUP, because they have also supported us, and of course the Chancellor as well. So I thank you for that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chancellor, Dr. Head, and Board. My name is Nick Brown, and I'm a former student and Tomball SGA President. Thank you for your time. I'm here on behalf of the the Woodlands PSSA, to share some things and initiatives that we're doing this year. First, let me start by telling you all about our fall 2018 through spring and summer theme. As a council, we met last summer, and we collectively decided that our theme for the year would be "Let's strengthen our community and ourselves." For the fall, we thought we'd have the sub-theme of "Share the Spirit." For the spring, "Strengthen the Body." For the summer, "Build the Mind." Let me move to the next. Now, quickly, I'll just tell you all about some of the events that we're doing. The first that we did last fall was the Healthy Harvest Street Cart, basically where we went around the system office and handed out healthy snacks, some sweets to employees, and just kind of to brighten their day. Next, we did our first fall meeting. That was in collaboration with the Montgomery County Women's Shelter. We were really grateful to increase attendance, and we received a lot of donations. I think it filled a pickup truck. Next, we did the annual Thanksgiving lunch with dessert contest, and then we donated to the food bank. Very grateful to increase attendance and increase donations from the previous year. Finally, for the fall, we did our winter event. That was with Toys for Tots, where we did gift raffles for employees who donated, and we had cookies and cocoa. For that event, we collected 260 toys, books, and then we had some monetary donations and gave that to Toys for Tots. Spring, we did Strengthen the Body. We are doing that, and we just kicked off our fitness challenge. We just had at our Spring Association meeting where we had one of the Montgomery professors come and speak about healthy eating and exercise and how that helps the body. Then we're doing a self-defense class with LSC Police. Then we're doing a yogurt and yoga event with one of our professors. And then we'll conclude the spring semester with a meeting highlighting healthy habits and tips. In the summer, we're going to focus on building our mind. We'll have the barbecue gathering and fitness challenge awards announcement. We'll do a reading event, and then we'll conclude that with a snow cone cool-off. So thank you all for your support. Thank you, Dr. Head and Board. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Board, the PSSA with the system office in the Woodlands and the system office at University Park, your primary contact is probably Helen? Who's your primary? Nick, who do you deal with? Helen? Then we meet a couple of times a year, the group. I meet with them twice a year. We have lunch someplace, but they primarily deal with the college presidents. That's their That's their primary role, is to work with the college presidents to make sure that they know what's going on and what the issues are. And then if there's some system-wide issues, then that comes up, and I'll discuss things with them like budget and kind of where we are, the way things look. So what we're doing about the flood, what we're doing about the, so thank you all very much.
Thanks for all you do. Appreciate your efforts. Okay, board members, since our last meeting, we've had, since our last meeting, we've had one regular meeting, and we've had minutes from our regular meeting in December, and we also have minutes from our board retreat, which took place on January 18th. First, I would like to get a motion to adopt the minutes of our December 6th, 2018 workshop and regular meeting. To approve it. Okay. Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second that we adopt approve the minutes of our December regular meeting and workshop. All those in favor vote by the usual sign.
Aye.
Ayes have. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion for the January 18, 2009 budget retreat workshop.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we adopt the minutes from our budget retreat on January 18th. All those in favor vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. At this point in time, we will entertain special reports and announcements, and we'll start off first with our chancellor.
So I've got four or five here. One is LSC Kingwood, and this is the last time I'm going to keep bringing this up, will have its grand reopening ceremony on Friday, February the 15th at 9 a.m., right? Okay. So then after that, we're never talking about the hurricane again, except the money and the things that go with that. What day are we on? Yeah, no, it's just like, for the new board members, Catherine was sending a note out just about every day, every other day, something like that. We were at 400 and January the day 500. So the note said day 500 or something. She was giving, if you're new on the board and you want a recap of everything that's happened over the last 500 days, Catherine, you can just send them the emails, yeah. So the annual Chancellor's Breakfast to honor our scholarship endowment donors will take place on Tuesday, February the 26th. Starts at 7:30 in the community building. So 6 student essay winners representing the over 1,500 students who receive scholarships from the foundation will read their winning essays. It's one of the highlights of our year, so it's worth, if you can make it, it's really a good event to attend. So, and we had the awards banquet. If you couldn't make it last Friday, we had 1,500 people there at the Marriott honoring about 500 of our employees, from years of service to writing awards to part-time adjunct awards to, it's one of our big events, very, very upbeat, very positive. We met Quentin and Ashley Turner put together a group. We raised $500,000 back in the fall for that program that Mario started and put on called College First. And so after we did that, some of the African American leaders came to us and said, can we do something similar, even though that one was not targeting necessarily Hispanics. But so we had another dinner was that last week?
Last week, yeah.
Last week.
Last Tuesday.
Yeah. We raised about 200 and, we actually raised more than that, almost, how much? 150 plus another 250 match. So and Nicole was there, and Quentin, you were there, right? You were not there. Okay, I forgot. I've been to so many meetings, like I can't remember who was there and who was not there. Anyway, we had, counting the match that we'll put in, there was about $400,000 raised in about a 2-hour period, by the way. And so we have more coming. We have other dinners, so if you want to participate in that, we'd be glad to take your money. And then your contribution. Sorry, it's not money, it's a contribution. And then last week, was it last week we did Community College Day?
Yes,
Yeah, last
yes.
week we did Community College Day. So if you were not there, so the student, we have every year when the legislature meets, we bring students up. And Jesse, how many students did we send up there? Go ahead. So let me just make sure. So some of the system people are talking, by the way. We just kind of, we organize the college president. I want to be real clear because they'll all be mad. They're the ones that do all the work over this. Now, what Jesse did was arrange all the visits. So you want to just give a quick overview of what happened here?
So all 6 campuses sent a bus, at least one bus. 4 of the campuses came the night before. We had a student gathering at Schultz's Beer Garden, which is the oldest continuing operating establishment in Texas. They say more legislation has been passed at Schultz's than at the Capitol. Just kind of giving the students an overview of what to expect. We had wonderful, robust participation. The next morning, we held it was a statewide TAC event. So the kids from all over the state were coming into Austin, and we had a rally on the steps, and then our students broke up and went to about 16 individual meetings with our legislators, mostly aligned within their footprint. A lot of the legislators during the morning session of the legislature being on the floor, acknowledged in the gallery a lot of our students. So it was very productive. It's really productive for my job no one cares about Lone Star because of who the ABC for government relations is. It's really about the students, and so having those students in front of their legislators was an opportunity for them to see the process up close and to learn about it, and for the legislators to see firsthand what we do and the impact we have on our students' lives.
So TAC is Texas Association of Community Colleges. That's the organization that all the colleges belong to. But thanks to Jesse for putting the thing together. And then thanks to the college presidents and their staff. That's a lot of work, by the way. That is, I know it's a lot of work to put that together and make sure everybody does what they're supposed to. And
we had a terrific working group of student life managers and leaders, faculty, college relations folks, various folks who you all have designated within your campuses, and everyone was wonderful participants, and we got a lot done and really felt the unity of the system of all 6 of our colleges coming together. So.
Well, I think over the long term, we want our students to know what all is involved in that process, and then we also want our legislators to know that they're real human beings that we're talking about here, and then some of you, we've talked about it, we want those personal relationships with our legislators, and many of them went to Lone Star, or their children went to Lone Star. I'm Brandon Creighton, who is, he's the senator, he's over higher ed, which is really important to us. Senate higher ed is one of our former students. So we also went later, a couple of us, and Jesse and Dr. Smith and I went and visited 7 or 8 of our legislators. What we're talking about is money reimbursement for, I said I wasn't going to say this again, for Hurricane Harvey. We still have a request in for about $15 million for Hurricane Harvey. This is aside from FEMA. And you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, and I had an opportunity to meet with, thanks Jesse for all your hard work, but we had a chance to meet with Creighton and Betancourt, Senator Betancourt and Senator Creighton. And Steve performed a miracle, I thought, in front of those individuals. He had 3 or 4 sheets of paper with nothing but facts and simple accounting terms. And when Steve, presented that data to those individuals, I thought the answer was going to be, well, we'll take a look at it. Well, they went further than that, and correct me if I say anything wrong, Dr. Head. They went further than that and said, hey, we're going to put this amendment in, we're going to do this, and this. They just pointed out exactly what they're going to do to make sure that the shortfall I think it was 15 million that we have, could be taken care of in some manner. I found out later on that that sheet that Steve had that I understood and everybody else understood was put together by the financial staff, and I want to compliment them on a job well done. Can't remember everybody's name. I remember Tammy. But Tammy, to you and your friends and cohorts, thanks for all of the hard work, because I think based on what we heard from those individuals, along with Steve's ability to relate, to those individuals, he has a good working relationship, that we're going to be successful. And I was telling Steve that I thought in his second career probably should be an elective office in the state of Texas, because he did quite well at it. And so I'm putting him on the spot right now, because at age 70, he will probably be elected to one of those offices. And good job, Steve.
And indeed, Jennifer and Tammy and the rest of the staff have been wonderful about helping us put our facts in front of the legislature and pointing out to them that best case scenario, FEMA and insurance, we're still footing a big chunk of this ourselves right now, and the state has a rainy day fund, and it rained about 50 inches, so we're hoping that they'll see fit to utilize that.
I didn't mention Jennifer on purpose, because I normally mention her. She said my staff did it, so that's this time I'm leaving her out of staff.
She's very gracious about that. And Tammy and I have been doing a lot of follow-up and continue to work it until we're on our way to the bank cashing the check.
I would say, though, they know about us, and it's because of the work that's being done with our faculty and our staff and how we represent ourselves in the community. So they know that we're trying to do the right thing. The fact that we've kept our tax rate, we've lowered taxes, they know that, and they know where we stand and that we're very efficient. And so when we do ask for something, that means we really need it. And I'm very, they know about us. The main thing is they have somebody in their family that went to school here. Like it's hard to run into somebody. I don't care whether you're a nurse at the store. You can go to the mall and just ask somebody what they're doing, and they went to Lone Star. They're going to Lone Star. So we're very fortunate, by the way, that a number of key people in our community are on finance committees, or House Appropriations, including Representative Wale.
Higher education.
Yeah.
Wally's on higher education and appropriations, Steve Toth on appropriations.
So they're very supportive of the college. So there's a lot of hard work that's gone into that. And a lot of you will have these relationships that help us.
The other thing I wanted to mention, Steve, I thought it was a trick question that came from, I think it came from Senator Creighton. And he said, what are you going to do if we get this money for you and FEMA reimburse you for the entire amount? And Steve's quick response was, we're going to give it back to you. And they were shocked that we had that type of attitude, that we're not trying to make money on you, we're just trying to be whole. And if our shortfall is less than whatever the amount is, we're going to give it back to the state. And that gave him, he had credibility already, and that just cemented the credibility that he has with the elected officials.
Any other questions? Any other board members? We will be keeping you and the presidents updated as the session moves on. We're now getting into the nuts and bolts of stuff actually happening in session now that committees have been assigned, and the governor has given his State of the State address. We're starting to hit some front-end deadlines where bills can be considered substantively.
I'm pretty optimistic about what's going to happen with community colleges in this session. Some other time we'll talk about some of the other issues. And then some of us are going to Washington next week. Now, that may be a different story. So we'll come back and tell you what's going on in Washington. Let you know how that's going. So,
as always, feel free to reach out to me with any questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse. Good job.